What's going on, Longhorn Nation? BJ with Bad Talks. First, let me apologize. It's been a week and a half since I've been on here. I did the OU preview, and then I wasn't able to do the OU reaction or the Baylor preview. I apologize for that. It wasn't by choice. I went to Texas, and I went to the Texas OU game. My brother called me up about that Tuesday beforehand. He was like, "Hey man, I got tickets for 50-yard line." We literally sit down the split. I had actually OU guys to my left, and me and my brother had Texas guys to our right. Man, it was an unbelievable experience. And Texas pulled off that upset win, 48-45 over Oklahoma. It was hard for me. I picked Texas to win. Like I said, I picked with my heart. But it was an absolute unbelievable scene. And what I like to talk about a little bit, something about the game, but I want to keep this at 15 minutes. I talked to a couple people and I'm losing them when I get to 18 to 20 minutes, so try not to do that. But I like to talk about some stuff that maybe you don't see on TV. Before the game started, it was during, pregame workout, and sometimes I think it was before they even got pads on to come out and warm up. OU was on my left side, obviously, and Texas was on my right side is how I'm looking at it. And Texas players was like mingling within the OU players and kind of trying to get in their way. And, I watched 3 or 4 different arguments and Texas players starting the beef with OU, kind of getting in their face. And, it was one Texas guy, I don't know who it was out of pads, but he went over there and got in OU dude's face. There was 4 or 5 OU guys, and he didn't care. He was in their face, letting them know, hey, this Texas, we're here. And then when the DBs were going in, Caden Stearns and who was with him? It might have been Foster. No, it wasn't Foster. Yeah, it was Foster. So Caden Stearns and Foster were going down the sideline, and they had to walk by OU, and OU guy said something to him, and Caden wasn't having it. So Michael Huff, I'd walk down to the end of the field, or the end of the stands right next to the field, and Michael Huff looked over there and saw it, and he hightailed it over there and got between Caden Stearns and Caden Stearns and Foster, got between them and OU guys, and Caden Stearns was pointing at him like, "Here we come." I could see in his face, "We coming, we coming." So, bottom line, Texas wasn't scared, and I love it. I love every minute of it. We jumped up to number 9 after that winning 48-45. But man, that was pretty cool. Hats off to the offense, man. The offense showed up. Yeah, I understand that Oklahoma doesn't have a very good defense, but at the end of the day, it's still Oklahoma. And player of the game, Seb Ehlinger, as we know. 314 yards, 2 touchdowns, two passing touchdowns, 72 yards rushing with 3 touchdowns. And every time, after Sam ran that first touchdown, power right, he did it again. After he scored the second touchdown on power right, when they lined up to go to third, me and my brother were sitting there doing this, like, run it again. So everybody in the stadium knew what was coming, or the stand knew what was coming. But you couldn't stop it. Those lead blocks, Beck getting up, and they pinning that defensive end in, running back, kicking out that corner. That last one, Keontae got away with the holding. He hit that corner, and when he fell, he pulled him down with him. We don't care. Touchdown. Man, what a ball game. It was pretty cool. That's expected. OU was going to score. We said this. OU was going to score. Now, old Boyd an apology. I said Boyd would get burnt a couple times, but Boyd didn't. P.J. Locke got burnt that one time. But if you notice on the game, the video, he was watching the sideline trying to get a play, or he was trying to do something. He wasn't paying attention. And when Hollywood Brown flies by, he flies by. And that dude was gone. But some of the highlights of the game that I really liked, other than Sam, our receivers are massive. We had a Florida and an Alabama guy sitting next to us, and I was asking them, what do you think about this environment? And they're all like, "Man, this is unbelievable. This is really, really cool." And this is 2 guys, very wealthy gentlemen, that go to Florida game. They're in a swamp all the time. Dude goes to Alabama games, and he was like, "Man, this is pretty cool." And then they kept talking about little Jordan Humphrey and Colin Johnson and how big they were and how unfair it was for Texas to throw those 2 receivers at OU's defense like that. I think this is a game Keontae Ingram grew up as well. He was running that dude runs the ball hard. He has an elite jump step, and it's pretty cool to watch, especially live. They're all good looking. We went down to the ends, or the end of the stands, and all these guys are just good looking dudes, man. They are. Yancey McKnight, salute to you, buddy. But my player of the game, Dicker, the kicker. That guy, man, ice in his veins, as Joe Klatt said. And the only thing I didn't like about watching this game live is I didn't get to listen to Joe Klatt and Gus Johnson call the games. They're my absolute favorite guys to call the games. I'll watch any football game if Gus Johnson's calling the game. But when Dicker, the kicker, lined up, man, I sat down and I covered my face. I don't know if I could watch. And this OU guy behind me is like, man, he just hit a 44-yarder. What's your problem? Why are you mad? Or why are you nervous? Nothing. I said, man, it's different. It's a true freshman center, a snapper, true freshman holder, and a true freshman kicker. Man, why you think I'm nervous? And, man, he got up there and nailed it right down the middle. As Gus Johnson said on the game on Fox, earthquake. You know, when it went through the upright, earthquake. That's exactly what happened. I mean, it erupted at the Cotton Bowl. It was an unbelievable experience. I'll never experience another football game like that the rest of my life. That was one of the coolest things ever. So wrapping that game up, because I'm at 6 minutes, I can get on the Baylor game. Texas beats OU. They were 5-1 in the Big 12. I didn't get to do a preview of Baylor, but I knew Baylor was going to come in tough. You know, we pulled off the Baylor win, 23-17, I think it was. But one thing I noticed about Texas, when we came out, I texted my brother and I told him, I mean, I was still in Texas, but I was at a different brother's house. I texted him, I said, hey, man, we just look flat. Like, I don't like the way we look. I kind of felt that way against against Kansas State. I didn't like it, and they did. It came out flat, and then 11 plays in, we lose Sam Ellinger. After that, I remember texting my brother saying, man, we're in trouble. Just because all I know is what I know from the past of last year. We would have probably folded and lost that football game. But once again, Colin Johnson has to be one of the top wide receivers in the country. And I'm not saying that just because I love my Texas Longhorns. But the dude is an absolute beast. That 44-yard touchdown catch he had, if you watch, it's called, as he's the DB's trying to cover him, he's holding space. In other words, he's not all out waiting for the ball. He's running at 3/4 speed, and he's holding the DB back with that left arm, that left shoulder. And when he knew Shane let that ball go, once the ball got close, then he released and gained the space and made the catch for a touchdown. The DB wanted pass interference because it looks kind of like pass interference. It's not. He's holding the space to get his space once the ball gets there. And I watched his game day post-game interview he had, and he says they worked on that all week long. And the guys, excuse me if I keep stuttering. I got my braces adjusted today, so my mouth hurts. But so I don't mean to stutter and all over my words. Lone Jordan Humphrey was big too. He made some good catches in the game. But again, I think Colin Johnson was player of the game. And maybe co-player of the game was Keontae Ingram. This guy needs 25 to 30 carries a game. Now, don't get me wrong. I like Trey Watson. Trey Watson is a stud out there. The guy gets positive yards. He's a good run block or a good pass blocker. Catch the ball out of the backfield. He's a reliable running back. Don't get me wrong. I love me some Trey Watson. And he answers my tweets when I tweet him. So I think that's pretty cool. But Keontae Ingram is the best back that we have. He's not our best offensive player. Colin Johnson's our best offensive player, in my opinion. But Keontae Ingram is an absolute stud out there. I'm telling you, I've said it before. But that elite jump step, that elite vision that he has, this kid's a true freshman. Me and my brothers watched him at the state championship last year in Dallas. And, of course, we knew he was going to be good. But to be so young and to be an elite running back like that with the vision and the jump step, hey, the sky's the limit for this guy. Like Coach Herman says once Yancey McKnight gets a hold of this guy for a full season, watch out. I mean, this is Jamal Charles and Adrian Peterson's body once this guy grows up. I think he's going to be unbelievable. The O-line didn't play very well against Baylor. Baylor kind of manhandled him in there. Baylor's got the worst rush defense in the Big 12. We're 90th in the country, 92nd in the country, something like that. And we didn't, O-line didn't manage the defensive line manage the line of scrimmage very much. But, man, 11 solid weeks of football. So these guys are worn down. You could tell they're worn down. And the defense played good. I mean, Baylor's got a good offense. This Brewer kid can sling the ball around. That Mills or Wills or whatever his name is for Baylor, another elite receiver. I would put the Big 12's receivers against anybody in the country. And I'm not an advocate for conference, talking about conference. I'm not an Aggie. I don't talk about SEC, SEC, or Big 12, Big 12. No, I'm a Texas Longhorn fan, and I talk about the Texas Longhorns. I don't need to put the conference on my back and say, oh, this is, I'm this conference. No. But I will speak for the wide receivers, probably the best wide receivers in the country. Hands down. Hands down, and nobody can argue that. I don't think. But yeah, the Baylor game had us all nervous, obviously. But they scoreless in the second half. That's unacceptable. I mean, we're not going to go. We're not going to win out. So that's unacceptable. But it's a win is a win. I read a thing on Twitter today that last year, Longhorns lost 5 or 6 close games, and we were upset as fans. Sure. Now that we won 4 close games, fans are upset. But we won the game. So don't be upset, guys. Enjoy the 6-1. Enjoy being number 7 in the country. You see all this talk on Twitter, mainly from Aggies, but you see all this talk on Twitter. Oh, they haven't played anybody. Texas is playing their schedule. And they're playing Power 5 schools. They don't get to play UAB at the end of the year, second to the last game of the year. They don't get to play those kind of schools like the SEC schools do. We'll be playing conference play. I don't hear, well, it's Kansas or whatever. I don't care who it is. It's still a Power 5 team. It's still in our conference, and we're playing in our conference. No ifs, ands, buts about it. That's what we do. So I really think Texas can run the table if they want. And that's not being biased because I'm a Longhorn fan. I'm looking at, with West Virginia losing to Iowa State, Oklahoma State not looking very good. Their lines of scrimmages aren't very good, which I'll talk more about in the preview next week about Oklahoma State. But Texas can win out until they get to the Big 12 championship. With that being said, I'd like to see OU lose to TCU or West Virginia or somebody. I don't want to play OU again. Hey, at the game these guys had elite speed all over the field. I don't know if Texas could beat them twice. It's hard to beat a team twice. I've coached, and it's very hard to beat a team twice in the same year. I beat coaching a team in the regular season pretty bad, 3 touchdowns, and then lost to them in the championship game by 6 points. It's hard. It's very hard, very, very hard, especially against an OU team that can drop as many points as they want on somebody. But our next game, we got a bye week. Our next game's in Stillwater in 2 weeks because we have a bye week. This bye week couldn't come at a better time. We got to get Sound healthy. We got to get Keontae to 100%. Coach Herman said he's only at 90%. Jeffrey McCullough, if you don't know, was in a car accident today or yesterday or today that his car hydroplaned and he apparently hit a pole. So they got him in a concussion protocol. They're going to check out and see if everything's okay. Coach Herman said it sounded like he's going to be fine, which, as an outside in, rush in linebacker, we need McCullough in there against Oklahoma State in a couple weeks. Night game at that. But the bye week couldn't come at a better time. I think Foster's a little banged up. Speaking of Foster, that guy can get to the quarterback. A sack on Kyler Murray. He rushed Brewer. He had a couple rush sacks against Brewer. Foster is a beast in there. The kid's a true freshman. Caden Stearns got him another interception. I know I'm kind of all over the place right now, but I'm trying to wrap 2 weeks up into this little brain and get it under 15 minutes, which I have about a minute left. Caden Stearns is standing out. I would like to see Thompson at our nickelback a little bit more than P.J. Locke. For whatever reason, he just doesn't match up well with folks. He'll come up and hit you, but I like the Thompson kid, man. Kid can play. Boyd, man, from a couple weeks ago when I banged on you a little bit, you've been locked down corner. Hats off, my friend. Davis is kind of getting saved by the bell, if you will, with the Caden Stearns interceptions. But defense going to be fine. Our front seven's good. Our back end's good. Offense is looking good. Guys, I think we can go into Stillwater and mop it up with these guys. It's going to be a tough night game. Like I said, I'll get into that next week. I've had a blast. I've missed doing this. I think I've thought about it every day. I just haven't had the opportunity to do it. I've had several people message me like, hey, man, where's this video? I want to see your video, which I like. Continue to do that. If you like my video, thumbs up. If you don't like it, thumbs down. Tell me why you don't like it. Do me a favor. Hit the subscribe button. Share the video. Get your friends involved. Let's talk some Texas football, guys. Again, I'm BJ with Bad Talks. It's good to be back. I see you guys next Monday or Tuesday or something like that, and we'll talk about going into Stillwater, a hostile environment. The team isn't great, but they don't have to be. They had Vince Young down 35-17 or whatever it was at one point a couple years ago. It's tough to play in Stillwater. So Texas fans, enjoy the bye week. I don't usually like bye weeks, but I need a bye week. I'm emotionally drained from this team, man, in a good way. Once again, guys, keep tuning in. We'll see you guys next week. Hook 'em.